Hello and welcome to the programme, episode number 9. On our first weekend in March, just a few weeks ago, Murroe Community Council held the annual Murroe Boher Expo. Here now is a short report on Expo 2012.
So bear with me for just one moment. First of all, huge welcome to Dr. Campbell, coming all the way from Ballydehob to be with us at the Expo to deal with this very timely topic.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is a lovely location to be in. Murroe has a nice Murroe has a subject I'm going to talk about society. So the subject I'm going to talk about is the Doyle turning point, and the subtext is a turning point for mankind.
Now the floor there at the entrance, it only goes in there about 12 feet.
Right.
That was used for horses.
For showing the horses.
For showing the horses.
Right.
A man might bring on a horse for the first time to show the horse.
Right.
And if he bounced or revved up, the timber floor kept him from sliding.
Oh, right.
And the floor was of sleepers,
yes.
sleeper floor.
Right.
And that's in many forges.
That's what it was,
Yeah.
There's only a thing of the past now,
a problem.
There is only a few, I suppose.
There are only a few. There's a forge up in Bilbo.
Right.
The previous blacksmith there, Tommy Ryan Glynn.
Yes.
Tommy Ryan Glynn. He was a great farrier.
I know that man that you were talking about a minute ago there from Luca, Tommy Kerr.
Tommy Kerr, yeah. He worked here for years. He was.
So I think they're all the family of the Kerr were blacksmiths, I think. Most of them anyway, I think.
Well, I know him now, like, you know.
Tommy, yeah.
Yes.
I know Tommy myself now. He's in a few years now, actually.
Yeah. And Joe Murray worked here. And twas he made the gates for the Harty Park, GAA field.
Did he actually make them here?
He did, he made them here.
A square concrete box filled with water, and then there was a timber box, and they'd lean on that then with a long arm.
That's right.
To bring the water up around the wheels when they wanted to
That's
cool
right.
them.
And when we'd be passing here every Tuesday, there'd be such a fire there where they'd be bending the wheels, you'd be afraid of your life. The bending the wheels, you'd be afraid of your life to pass.
The wood. And you had to be an expert to do it properly, because the water had to be passed in on the wheels at the correct time, so it wouldn't.
It had to be too hot or too cold.
Hello, Dan. You can come in here.
No, you're on the barrier. And that was the big day, the bending of the wheels.
Bending the wheels would be the biggest day. And then if you go back a bit further during the war years, when there was no cars or anything going to fairs, there'd be an extra lot of horses in to be shod.
Oh yes.
Because to be a special day going to the fairs the next day.
If there was a hospital.
And there would be the odd creel here with a couple of bullets that were bad on their feet, and they'd put caps on them. On the bullocks that might be walking, that would get sore feet, they'd take them off when they get to the fairs.
Joe Boyle used to tell a great story about Bill Holmes.
Yeah.
Bill Holmes had a horse one time, and the horse got lame.
Yeah.
He got a drop in his leg.
Yes.
A drop in between the hoof and the
frog.
Frog. He got a drop. But Bill, anyway, this horse was so important. He wanted the horse that was a framework, and he couldn't do without the horse. So he called to Joe anyway one night, and he said, Joe, he says, right, you can do it for me. So Joe was a great man at the horses, at these, getting a drop off of the horse's foot.
Yeah.
So Joe said to him, come up, he said, and I'll see what I can do. So he came up after the supper anyway, brought up the horse, Bill brought up the horse, and Joe arrived on his bicycle anyway, and he opened up the forge, and he let the drop off of the horse's foot. So Bill was delighted, and he gave Joe a couple of pounds. So Joe, the first thing he saw was the name of a bar.
Yes.
Up to Murphy's. And he head for there, but when he had a couple of pints like anyway, he started thinking about the horse again and Bill Holmes. So he said, Joe Boyle let off the Joe Boyle took off the shoe, he said, off the horse. Joe Boyle fixed the shoe, he said, no, Joe Bell took off the shoe, he said. But Bill Holmes got the drop.
Got the drop.
Yeah. But Bill got the drop, he said. He's had to pay a couple of pounds.
That's right.
From the 1980s, so it's entitled
Keep pulling it out.
I just keep on drafting it along, yeah. Now my very, very first one from 16 years ago is not as fine as this at all. I'll show you that in a moment. But, you know, you just get it fine as you want. You can have it slubby, you can have it fine. It's a bit too fine, it might break, but sure, we'll just keep going anyway. I don't mind, you know, a kind of a rustic look to my yarns. It doesn't bother me. Some people want it all even, that's fine. I'm okay with this.
So
just
that's
the yarn.
We'll say the ply of
that's
yarn.
That's a one ply. A one ply, and that's a single. And to make a thread that would be stronger, you would do a second bobbin, and then on the third bobbin, ply them back together.
Right.
Okay. So, and then my two ply. Now that's a two ply, right?
That means
that's a finished product.
And you've started all over with two together.
I did two together, yeah. So I'm doing clockwise when I'm making the yarn, and then when I'm plying, I go anti-clockwise. So you just start your wheel, you have your little footman, this thing here is called, so you just start it there on the right hand side, and then it will go clockwise. And then it's putting in the twist in that turn all that way, and then you can, when you're doing the plying, then you'd have your two bobbins of singles here, you'd join them up together there, and you'd go back the other way. Yeah, and you'd be, yeah. So I just go along with that there, and I get my wool going along.
So you actually want to fill this bobbin. This isn't full.
No, I just started new ones last night, so I'd I have 3 different samples to start to show people, you know. And I won't be filling a bobbin now, you know, because
what kind of time would it take to actually fill a bobbin?
Well, to fill a bobbin and to make enough for a jumper. Oh, like that's actually very light, even though it looks very large. It's actually quite light.
Right.
You'd have to go by the weight, and you'd also have to work out the thickness of the wool, because I mean, I could have a one ply that is as thin as that, but I could also have a one ply that was thicker than, you know, I mean, those are a bit thick in places, right. You know. Okay. So you'd need a good lot. You'd need a good lot. You'd need a kilogram of yeah, and that would take you a long time. Like, I only buy it in 100 grams at a time. I don't buy a kilogram. I made the mistake once of a kilogram, and I have a giant bag of wool at home. And I know what I'm never going to do with this.
What are you talking about then for?
Well, the stuff from Kerry Woolen Mills is quite cheap, that bag there. I don't know, was it €7 a kilo or something like that, you know. Yeah. But I got it in different colours, because I got it this time last year when I was only starting. You could get a free fleece from a farmer.
And I'm going to do a bit of stenciling. The children have loved doing this morning. So I'm just going to hold the stencil, and with my ink pad I'm just going to dab very lightly over the stencil and work my way around with the ink pad. And I can check it as I go along and see that it's covering. I can't believe how popular this has been with the children. They just love it. And it's my first time ever doing anything like this in public. There's a great buzz around the place. It's lovely. Oh yeah. There's a great buzz around the place today. It's lovely. Yeah. Now, that should do it. And there we have the finished stencil.
Welcome. And next we have Herbert Gow speaking about the Barringtons of Glenstall.
The first of the Barringtons that arrived into Limerick about 1690. He came in as a tail end, as a soldier after the Cromwell experience here, and Samuel was his name. And there's a window in St Mary's Cathedral that is, I saw it recently, is in his memory. So he must have created a good impression for his period of time. He had a son, then he married locally, and his name was Benjamin. And Benjamin then had a son, Benjamin again. And that Benjamin married a daughter of Sir Croker. Hence the story when Croker was dying, clergyman says to him, "You're going to a better place," and I doubt it, says Croker. So that's the reason for that. Each generation of the Barringtons thereafter called one of their sons Croker. So you have a Croker in every generation. Generation after that then, the last Matthew, his son was Joseph. He's the man that built Barrington's Hospital, or was there during the building of it. His son then, Matthew, would have been the main man in the lawyer for the building of the railways in Ireland. So he would have been well known in that sphere, in the early railway systems. He also is the man then that instigated the building of the castle, because he had rented in 1820 the lands of Glenstall from the Evanses, who were the Lord Carberys. They came from Cork, and they lived in the old big house at the remains of it. Signs of it are there near the tennis courts up in Glenstall. That's where they lived. O'Grady's lived there then for a short period. Barrington's then rented the land in 1820, and a few years after that they bought out the 2,000 acres roughly that was in, which would take in Moher and Ganban and all that area. They then Matthew then decided to build a castle, and he built, when he was finished building the castle, it started in 1935 and they finished around 1949 after the famine. So hence, in spite of what you'll hear, there was very little hunger around Murroe because they had soup kitchens and everything through the influence of the Barringtons and the rest. Croker, anyway, they finished, I think, building the last of the castle in sometime in the 1850s. 1858 or 9, I think they finished the last. He had 2 daughters, and they would have been, they were interested in that kind of thing, woodwork and all the rest. Actually, they're responsible for one of the well-known famous staircases that is still in existence up to they designed it in the castle. He had a son then, William, who had only 2 daughters. So it had to go to the male line, the title. So it moved on to Joseph Barrington. He had a son then, Charles, and Charles would have taken over around 1890, I think it was. And this is Charles on the wall here, in army uniform, an ambulance. He was an ambulance driver in the First World War. That's the only way he'd be accepted, because he was 66 years of age at the time. And he used to take casualties from the front lines. And his daughter Winnie then, who was accidentally shot in the troubled times, 1921, in near Coolboreen bridge between Newport and Killiscully, and she was a nurse with the early part of the Air Force. So she would have been in Air Force ambulance flying at the time, which was a very dangerous thing to do, so she was involved in that line of business. And then after the war, then she came back, she used to come back on holiday and that kind of thing, and she had a few friends, and she was in the wrong company at the wrong place at the wrong time and was accidentally shot. And she was very well liked by the local people. We have records of her coming down here in her white horse, mare, and her 2 brothers, Charles and Fitzwilliam, that I mentioned earlier, that was the prisoner of war in Japan. They was coming to the yard here, and he mentions in one of the old books, the old Limerick journals, that he had a little input into at one stage, often having tea here in this house with my, and she used to cook Scottish scones. He mentioned all that kind of thing. So my grandfather happened to be the land steward for Barrington, so that's the contact we had with them. He came here in 1898 as land steward. He was here till 1925 then, 24 when Barrington sold out, and Barrington offered him 160 60 acres, plus the old farmyard. The old farmyard here was built out of the second grade stone that was left over after the building of the castle. And the castle was built mainly from stone from a quarry over near where Miles McNamara lives, at the foothills of Murroe. And there was a railway line that time drawn by horses that drew the stone to the castle yard. And one horse would pull 4 tons. It was 325 feet above sea level, a level the whole way to the castle. And then they'd put on 2 more horses to pull it up the hill by the archway into it. That's well recorded. There's a very old man that died a couple of years ago. Jackie O'Gorman was his name, and his father, his grandfather, worked in the building of the castle. So that was a direct line I had of information of that period. Anyway, so Charles sold out. He gave my grandfather 2 years to come up with the money, which was £1,200, which was quite a bit at the time. My grandfather didn't have it, but he was able to put a bit of it together after 2 years. And he gave him, so Charles gave him 2 years to come up with the money. He came up with the money, and Sir Charles's brother Jack, who lived in Ashrow, was his agent, because Sir Charles was gone to England at this stage. He approached Jack, and Jack told him his instructions were that he was to give him back half it. And this was one of the qualities of the Barringtons, that they did it for all their tenants, I've discovered since, but they never talked about it. He put double the money on them when they were buying out their bits of property. He shifted no one, he moved out no one, he left them all in their property. A few of the places he was never paid for them, I know that for a fact. But, and those generations, 3 generations are still in the area, but we don't talk about those things. And the idea was that Barrington had decided what good was land to anyone if they couldn't put in stock. So when he was able to give them back half it, they had money to put in the stock. The second good thing was there were 4 milkers milking the cows here for Barrington. He milked 32 cows here at the time. And my grandfather was able to retain then the 4 milkers. They were ladies, wives of some of the men that worked on the estate. So their jobs continued. And farming was able to go on, and that was it. And he was a good man to keep in touch with with the people after he left. He used to write to quite a few around and that kind of thing. So they were well liked family. The other thing was none of the Barringtons ever got land for nothing. They bought it or earned it or married well off. Married ladies that had land. In a good way then.
Let's get active now with more exercises by Ray Laffen.
I'm Laffen, and I'm here to just continue on with the singing that we did the last day. So basically I'm going to start off again today, and we're going to try and get ourselves nice and relaxed. So I'm going to do, first of all, we're going to just take some deep breaths, and we'll just in and out. So we're going to breathe in and then breathe out. This helps us to center ourselves as well. Breathe in, breathe out. So that makes it nice and calm. The next exercise again is similar to the last exercise I did the last day, which is we take our hand and we put our right hand on our shoulder. And then we imagine a sheet of paper at our elbow. And we make a circle on that piece of paper. And then, slowly, we'll increase that circle that we're making on the piece of paper. And the circle gets wider, nice and slowly. And as the circle gets wider, you're releasing more tension and you're releasing more of the strain that might be in your shoulder across this region here, which is an important region when you want to start singing and breathing properly. So we get this as big a circle as you can. And when you're ready then, we can stop. Our hands down to our side and relax. I often find that when I do this exercise with people. Similarly, we're going to do the same exercise this one. Imagine your piece of paper out here. You make the circle a small one first of all, nice and easy. And it's going to get a little bit bigger as we go along. Take it nice and easy. And increase the circle as you go. As much as you can. It's a good idea to change the rotation of the circle as well. We'll go back the way we came, like this. It's also part of this exercise. I forgot to do the other shoulder, but you can do that in your own time as well. So, put this down to the side, and now both our arms are the same length. Now we're going to make a yawn. As you can see, our voice is going from a high to a low. Do that again. You can be as loud as you want. The more you bring your voice in, the better. We'll bring in the breathing exercises now. So in order to sing properly, we have to breathe properly. So this is diaphragmatic breathing, and all singers, all musicians learn how to do this. It helps you in singing. It helps you to sing longer and better, and allows the air to flow through. So again, middle finger on your belly button, and take a breath and push your belly out. And hold that breath a little while. 5 seconds, let's say. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. This time, when you breathe in fully, I want you to make a hissing noise. This again is preparing this area for singing. So we're going to breathe in, and then we're going to make a hiss. So we'll do that once more time. The next little exercise I'm going to do, I'm going to sing in a graduated format, and you're going to follow me. And then we're going to go up and down a short scale. This again brings in breathing and brings in the voice a little bit more. So it'll be like do re mi, but I will call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want you all to follow that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're holding that. We come back down that scale again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're starting to develop our voice and our tone. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Follow me. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We go up the scale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that's a full long one, so you can follow me in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 1. Your turn. 5, 1. We'll go from 1 to 5. 1, 5. Your turn. 1, 5. So we're going to go back now to our song, which we were doing the last day. What I'm going to do with you this time is when we're singing this song, is I'm going to teach you about where to breathe in the song. That'll help you to complete the song better. Now if you remember, it was Down by the Sally Gardens. Down by the Sally Gardens, breathe, my love and I did meet. Now we do that line together. You know where to breathe. It's at the beginning, in the middle, and that takes you to the end. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. Do the second line. She crossed the Sally Gardens. Now this is the breathing point. With little snow white feet. Now we'll do that line together, so you know the breathing point. She crossed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. I'm going to do the third line now, so that you know where the breathing point is here also. She bid me take life easy, breathing, as the trees grow on the tree. Breathe again. But I was young and foolish, breathe, and with her did not agree. So we're going to do that entire first verse, and I'm going to do the second verse then with you. So you'll be able to sing 2 verses of this song. But what we're learning here is about breathing, and it's about being able to have good tone and relaxing and being able to enjoy the whole experience. And that's a really positive and very important part of this whole exercise. So if you can remember our breathing points again, it was down by the Sally Gardens. We have a little stop there, we breathe. She crossed the Sally Gardens, stop, breathe. She bid me take love easy, stop, breathe. But I was young and foolish, stop and breathe. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 'Twas down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bid me take love easy, as the leaves grow on the trees. But I was young and foolish, and with her did not agree. Hope you all did that, enjoy that. So we'll do the second verse now. We'll add the second verse to this so you'll have something new to practice and new to work on. I will sing the verse and I will go through you the breathing points. In a field down by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand. And that's our breathing exercises and our work for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we may do some more again the next day. Thank you very much.
This week, our sports reports brings us news of Murroe AFC with Noel Regan, the GA Club with Philip D, and the Camogie Club with Caroline Hickey.
Okay, this is the update from Murroe AFC for the matches played over the past couple of weeks. We'll start off with the A team. They were playing away recently to Murroe and they lost 3-1. Noel Ryan scored for Murroe. Our under-19 boys had 2 matches recently, both high-scoring affairs. The first match they drew 4-4 with Manus. Brian Quinn, Drew McLean, Owen Roach and Gary Ryan scored in that match for Murroe. And then this weekend they played a match away to Corbally, which they lost 3-2. Aidan Ryan and John Ryan scored for Murroe. In the underage boys section there was mixed news. The under 13 boys had an excellent 3-0 win over Charleville. Ben Hyde, Paddy Kelly and Jake Rainsford scored for the 13s. But the under 10 boys unfortunately lost their last league match away to Cappamore 1-0 and ended up runners up in the league. Extremely unlucky. It was the only match they lost all season in the league campaign. In the girls section, again, season is winding down here, so there's been a limited number of matches. In the first one there, our under 14s were very unlucky to lose 4-2 away to Charleville. Sarah Jane Barry got both goals in a match that Murroe led twice, and in actual fact were in the lead up until 5 minutes from the end. Our under 10 girls showed great improvement, even though they lost 1-0 away to Ballylanders. This is a very young team, and most of the girls are going to be underage again next year. That basically covers most of the girls' matches. We had one other match in the under 10 boys, and a big moment for young Arden Rolston, who scored his first competitive goal ever for Murroe. Finally, I suppose just on a couple of other notes there, we'd just like to thank everyone who contributed to our recent Churchgate collection in aid of the club, which raised over €800. And then there was 2 matches this weekend, just to update you on very quickly. They were played yesterday. Our under-12 girls, they beat Holy Cross 3-0 in the league. Leonie Kelly, Aoife Kinsella and Karen Cunningham scored the goals. And then they also played a friendly match recently against Aisling and Anacotta on Aisling's new all-weather surface. And though losing 2-1, it was an excellent game. Anna Madigan scored a fantastic goal, but the highlight of the game was an absolutely brilliant save by Leonie Kelly, which you'd have to see to believe. It was so good. Under 8 girls, just for any people out there that might have children or grandchildren that might be interested, our under 8 girls are training each Monday above at the club from 6 to 7 p.m. and further details can be got from Mario Flynn on 086 60 55545, and that's girls born in 2003 and 2004 who wish to play soccer can also contact Mary. And again, we'd just like to thank the community again for their support in the recent Churchgate collection. Thank you.
Philip D, Secretary, Murroe Boher GA Club. I just want to give you an update on our position, the club position from the last time we spoke. I think we had Paul Burden's chairman the last time to give you an update there a week or 2 ago. There isn't a lot of activity on the hurling front or football front this time of the year, but just a few updates. I'll start with the senior hurling team. They've played 4 challenge matches in total since they started training on the 15th of February. Today is the 22nd of March, so you can see that it's been a fairly busy time. They've had 6 sessions at the UL Arena, at the UL North Campus in Limerick under lights there every Wednesday night, and they've had 5 or 6 sessions, weekend sessions at Boher also. They played 4 challenge matches, as I've said. They played, I think this is in order, Knockaderry, Nina, Burgess and Portrue, and they played Portrue last night at the UL Arena, at the UL North Campus. A match I refereed myself, actually. Very tough game. We're beaten by 10 points. We had a fairly depleted team, but having said that, we came up against a real quality team in Portrue. So preparations continue. We hope to play a challenge match on Sunday in Boher, perhaps against Loughrea of Galway. That isn't quite settled yet, but we hope to. Our preparations are going very well on that, in that regard. I've been speaking to Ger Hegarty, the manager of the senior hurling team. He's very happy with progress. And some of our players are still away. We have players in the States, in Australia, elsewhere. We hope to get them on board for the real serious business a little later. The hurling league starts early April. The hurling championship, of course, our first game is against the Hand, starts in early May, and in the meantime there's a lot of groundwork to be done. That's the seniors. Under 21 hurling, we played Kildymo away last Monday, there the bank holiday Monday, in a challenge game as preparation for our East Limerick final against Cappamore which will be either the 4th or 5th of April. We had a great game in Kildymo. We had a bare 15, mind you. It's hard to get 21s together for one reason or another, and the bank holiday weekend didn't help, but we had a fine win. We won by 9 or 10 points. We were very pleased with that outcome. It was the first time we got that particular group together. The training is ongoing every Tuesday night. We train minors and these lads at the same time. We say the minors and the under 21s at the same time on Tuesday nights at 7:30 in Murroe, and there's always a weekend session as well at either Boher or Murroe. The minors are out in the first round of the minor championship on the 30th of March against Cappamore, our near neighbours Cappamore, and that's in Cappamore. No, it's in Murroe, I think. So we look forward to that one. And a few days after, as I say, we meet Cappamore in the final of the under 21 championship, the B final. A few days later, we think in Carconlish. That has to be confirmed. The other news I'd have is that we have a big drive on at the minute to promote the Limerick Draw, or the Limerick GA Club Draw, which is our lifeblood really in terms of fundraising for the club, as it is for many clubs around the county. We set ourselves a target of 350 new members, of a total of 350 members for the year. We had 188 members last year. Most of the parish has been done at this stage. We have over 100 new members, probably at this stage between 105 and 115 new members. Information is being updated on a daily basis at this stage, and we still have the village with its 5 or 6 estates to be done, which we hope to target tomorrow night. I'd like to say on behalf of the senior club, I'd like to express our appreciation for the support and the enthusiasm and the positivity that we received in the course of the canvassing for the Limerick Club Draw throughout the parish. It is very, very much appreciated in these very difficult times. And that's about all, and we'll have an update for you again in a week or two. Thank you very much.
This is Murroe Camogie Club. We were set up in 1995 and we participate in intermediate, under 16, under 14, under 12 and under 10. We participate in both intermediate league and championship, and league will be commencing fairly soon. Our under 16 team have joined this year with Catmore, and they're trained by Anna O'Connor and Dan McKenna, and training will be Saturdays in Catmore. Our intermediates train on a Monday and Wednesday night with matches every weekend. The under 14 team train on a Tuesday evening and is managed by Alan Barry. The under 12 team also train on a Friday night and is managed by Geraldine Cunningham and Mike Cunningham. And matches are usually Tuesdays or Thursday evenings. The officers for the coming year are: the chairperson is Anya Fogarty, the assistant chairperson is Catherine McCormack, the secretary is Helena Hayes, the assistant secretary is Una Kett, the treasurer is Trina Hayes, the assistant treasurer is Helena Hickey, the PRO is Caroline Hickey, the child welfare officer is Michelle Daly. Our biggest achievement to date has been winning the Junior League Championship in 2008, and where we went up intermediate, and where we won the league that year, and then we could go up senior. For more information, you can check us out on murroe.net or Facebook.
Father Simon now will complete this programme with a thought for the week.
St. Benedict, as you probably know, wrote a rule for monks in 480. In it he legislates for all the aspects of our life, from what prayers we're to say, to what food we're to eat, even down to how much drink a monk should have. He was in favour of moderation in all things, and this was particularly true with drink. He said, we all agree that monks shouldn't drink today, and this was in 480. But he says, since monks cannot be persuaded not to drink, let's at least agree that they'll drink in moderation and not get drunk. And he says, we'll allow them a hemina of wine a day, or whatever the local conditions allow. Now the great news about this is that no one knows how much a hemina is. So it depends whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, how much you can drink. He is in favour of moderation in all things, except for one aspect of life in the monastery. And in chapter 34 he says, above all, let not the evil of murmuring appear for any reason whatsoever, in the least sign or word. If anyone is caught at it, let him be placed under very severe discipline. So Benedict is not concerned about getting drunk or taking too much drink, but he's very concerned about what he calls murmuring in the community. Murmuring for him is complaining, backbiting, whinging, criticizing, being cynical.
This is the most serious sin, according to him, because it saps the energy of the individual and of the community. It's like an insidious poison and has a deadly corrosive effect on community, acting like an acid, shriveling the individual soul and the soul of the community. And Benedict is aware of how easily we can slip into murmuring, becoming the currency of our exchange when we meet each other, criticizing, carping, complaining about the food, about the brethren, or whatever. So we must be watchful for this happening in our lives and in our communities, because nothing so undermines hope and smothers possibility.